Okay. Morning rambling. Um, the thought being there needs to be some sort of realization amongst a group of people. I don't really care who. Um, of what is making up the informational field around you, what you're looking at, what you're telling yourself, what you are being told, what you're hearing constantly. It's almost It's almost like you're always hearing some sort of noise from screens, even out in public now. It's kind of crazy. I feel like there's a sort of rude behavior of people just loudly playing shit on their phone, like hearing full on conversations, personal shit. There's definitely a dissolving of boundaries, which is not necessarily bad, but it's there's just too much of it. You can't think properly. You can't really begin to understand it, uh, the wider um, the wider sense of everything, if you will. um, and dissolving boundaries is necessary. You're gonna have to just say, okay, give it at times, right? But there is a line between dissolving boundaries and like waking people into new worlds and kind of walking into a momentous swing of noise and not being able to find any sense in the middle of it, or meaning in the middle of it, or just by looking at it. Um, I want these to be more of just I guess my own ideas that I can look back on and see my reflection of whoever I am at that time, looking back at this perspective of me. Um, I think that's another thing that the screen does and has done for people. It's a reflection of you in a way. It reflects back to you what you show it. And sure, it definitely has the capabilities of going outside those lines of the algorithm, the AI implemented algorithm at that. And what that means is like an AI is basically trained on information that you give it. I mean, what you look into it, how long you look at something, um, and it kind of just feeds into that. And if you just begin to study what AI can do in general, there's a lot of different factors about the algorithms that need to be taken and accounted for, or at least need to be brought to the public's eye in some way, because this is where the noise is coming to play. This is where the constant noise of individuals who are just constantly, and in public I'm talking about, even at home, like amongst your families and roommates, I'm sure there's you stop, you try to turn it off or something, and you like pick up a book, and I swear this has happened to me many times. Like I try to go like out, not out in public to like write or anything, maybe to draw, but not never to write. But like I'll draw in public, and I'll just feel myself being watched, and it's not necessarily in a judgmental way. I don't think. I think it's more or less just a like observing something kind of they haven't seen in a while, because I can't think of the last time I've just seen people doing art in public and I moved from the country uh, to the city to kind of, you know, force myself in a new path. And I wouldn't say force, but I definitely had to just change something. I had to change it all, really, to kind of see some new perspectives. Um, and there are a lot of perspectives in the city, and I think that's really, really interesting. Can bring a wider sort of it can bring your attention to the wider aspect of the total of humanity, maybe. But I don't think anyone should ever be constantly fixed on the idea of everyone being able to be saved or helped, um, which is, I think, a problem with the screens and the algorithms and the AI, and the constant noise of it all. Um, because people think it's like their right to just kind of shove technology in your face. That's so fucked up. If a motherfucker just came up to me with a camera and started blasting in my face, especially if on a moment that I'm caught off guard. I'm not saying always, but like especially on a moment, I'm not okay. It's a crazy world, and it's creating crazy, crazy, crazy new things and repeating old things. But I think that the way out of this to create a sort of angelic aspect to your life, to your own individual life, the way you're just sitting there thinking. You're not sitting there just like la di da di da di da, and you're not telling yourself lies. You're not telling yourself anything. You're sitting there listening, feeling. You pick up a pen, you pick up you start painting, you just pick up an instrument or something, and you're not thinking. You just go, you just do it, and in a way, that is what needs to be happening with words and language, and the algorithms and the AI. There's not the AI necessarily, but the algorithms and the implemented with AI, the sort of social media forums that we kind of flood with whatever. It needs to be flooded with this sort of nonsense of a true individual, not the nonsense that is slop, you could call. I'm talking about the nonsense that has form, and it's the same thing in different ways. It's different accounts posting the same different kind of thing about different shows or different celebrities or movies, or all that kind of stuff. I think there needs to be a more sensible aspect to the individual when you're operating in the life of yours. I think people just kind of go and buy the uniforms of that were presented to them on advertisements by brands, and they kind of they go to concerts or something, and they don't even watch the concert. They record it for their future self or content. No one is fully in the moment. I mean, I can't even say I am always, but let that be your advantage, if you will. No one is fully here. Use it, especially around the people who aren't fully here. They're just kind of scurrying by.